Hey guys, thanks. Welcome to ATX Television Festival, Season 4, Day 1. My name is Emily. I'm one of the executive directors. We are so excited all of you are here. We're also very excited to be partnering with TV Land for the first time. They have been incredible. They're putting on such great shows. Obviously, you're here, so you're excited about them. They're a great new partner for us. We are really excited about Teachers. It's going to be a fun show. And then I fought tooth and nail for Younger because I'm in love with it. Yeah, so you get to discover a brand new show and then see the finale of a show that we've all fallen in love with. I was just telling the girls outside, I was so mad at Caitlin, my counterpart, because she delivered the content to the theater before I got to watch it, so I haven't seen it yet. And I was very upset with her, but you know, you get over it. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you're having a great day today and bearing the heat. At least it's not raining. Right? I will take the heat over the rain any day, so yeah, sit back and enjoy.
It's nice to see you all again. What did you think of the finale? I know. Super good, right? We have a ton of questions. I have to say, personally, I feel like Younger was one of the biggest surprises for me of this last season. It is an absolutely touching, brilliant, smart, insightful comedy with an amazing performance. That was not a surprise. From star Sutton Foster. Everybody give her a big round of applause. It's just you and me this time.
Oh my God. Okay.
This show is truly, I feel like, unlike anything I've seen. I mean, the opportunities afforded to its star seem endless. I mean, there's so many levels to play. There's so many things at work at a given time. When you read this, how did the project come to you originally?
Is
that on?
Am I on?
Here, you take this one.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't necessarily, I was actually waiting to see if Bunheads was going to get picked up. I know. So like that was sort of, I was kind of holding out. I'm naive, and so I was like, it's coming back, and then they canceled us at like the last minute, and so I was kind of at a loss at what I was going to do, and my agent called, and he was like, there's this Darren Star script, and he sent it to me, and I read it, right away, and I was like, oh, that could be fun. And I didn't even really think about, I was sort of falling through the cracks. That was what was so great about Bunheads with Michelle, is that she was sort of like, it's like that age, that age of like, sort of like I can't think of the word, sort of like the in-between. Mm-hmm. And I was sort of falling through the cracks in the casting and stuff. I was sort of reading younger for certain things and like not reading old enough for other stuff, and so I was getting kind of frustrated. And this, I was like, oh, this could be fun. I think I could pull that off, maybe. But I didn't. And then I met with Darren, and then I went in and auditioned.
I kind of love that. I mean, it's ironic in a lot of ways that in the industry, you were reading too young for older roles and too old for younger roles. And then comes this project where it's like, actually, we need exactly an actress who can do that.
Right. Right. And I was like, oh, I think I can pull that off. And then when we started filming it, I was then started feeling the pressures of actually trying to pull it off. Like the concept of, and I bought a lot of eye cream, and I was like, oh my God, like I hadn't really thought about my age or like what I look like, or I don't know if that makes me naive, or I just didn't even think about it until this job, and I was like, oh, like my like employment is dependent on my skin quality, and like if I can pull off this ruse, But what I love about the show is that I feel like hopefully you see the older and the younger woman all the time. I don't think it should be a solid dunk.
No, I completely agree. I mean, there's those great moments where she, slips back into her older self when she tries to go on the date at the mall in New Jersey, and and you get to see that side of her and how what she thought once was her life doesn't have to be, and the excitement of that possibility, I think, is really amazing to watch.
Well, it's all about reinventing yourself and being able to. That it's never too late for reinvention and never too late to start over. And, it's life is It's about, you know, taking your life in your own hands and sort of making it what you want. And that's what I love about it. And it's you know, it's like a fairy tale, so it's fun. It's been awesome to be a part of.
I mean, it's kind of amazing too. I love that in so many ways, Younger's concept is sort of like a middle finger to the industry at large. The idea that, you know, this is kind of what women specifically are asked to do. I mean, there was just that story about, is Rebel Wilson lying about her age? You know, and
I know.
it's crazy that an industry forces people to feel that like that's a necessity. I mean, what did you enjoy about sort of the message behind that concept?
I didn't even really think about all of it until we started doing press for it. And people started talking to us about ageism. And I don't know why. I've never really thought about my own age. I still feel like I'm 15. Like, I still feel like the floundering kid, you know. I didn't, and as I'm navigating my career, and I'm no longer the ingenue, I'm now navigating into other roles and trying to figure out all that shit. And so it's like so I didn't really think about it until people started asking me questions about ageism, and like I was like, wait a minute, am I supposed to panic? Like, is my career over? I had no idea. So it was like new to me. And again, I don't know if that just makes me naive, but I also feel like, you know, I've never lied about my age. I feel very proud of who of my age and where I'm at in my life. And I have had a very full life. I've lived many lifetimes of incredible opportunities and things. And I'm excited about the roles that are to come. You know, if I keep trying to, I don't want to be the person I was, you know, I mean, me, Sutton, I don't want to play the roles I played when I was in my 20s. I've already done those. I'm excited about, you know, what's to come. So it's like, I really want to ride the wave of it all. What I think is interesting, I mean, and sad about, like, yeah, I'm not a politician. I'm not a you know, someone who's in the front of the boat. I'm usually skipping through the fields, playing with butterflies. So I'm not like someone who's like charging the quest of feminist ageism things. But because I just want to, you know, be happy, and like there's a reality to, you know, just getting older, and that I'm all for it. But as far as the show, what I love about it is just being able to take charge of your life. And, you know, I always thought of it like, I always use the Tootsie analogy. So it's like Dustin Hoffman, that was his way of being like, all right, you're not going to hire me this way, then I'm going to do this. And that's sort of what I think is like behind Liza's. She's like, well, I'm going to do this. And this is, well, because I don't want to compromise sort of what I believe in, meaning like my passions. She's passionate about books, passionate about reading, and that's what she wants to do. And so if this is the way it's going to work, then this is the game she's going to play. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Made all the sense.
Oh.
You made all the sense. But you.
Oh, that was terrible. Lone panelist.
It's all right. Killing it.
All alone.
Don't need anyone else. We're good. I don't even have to be here. You've done an amazing job in the span of just a very short first season, a cable first season, of really making the audience care about Liza's journey. And I think I was very upset when that slush pile script did not turn out to be written by a real novelist. I was like, Anna Gasteyer, how dare you?
You hope to root for her. You know, you have to actually, because as I was sort of realizing, I was like, oh man, like audiences have to get behind her, or it's not gonna then it's all gonna just sort of fall apart. Because if you concentrate on the fact that she's like lying to people, then you're gonna be like, well. But if you're like behind her and you root for her and you're like, go Liza, go, then that's good. But yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, I think her lies, really, truthfully, the work lies, I think, very understandable from the jump. I think the Josh of it all was the place where she got caught in something she did not want, and that person, that was
cute,
I mean,
so
that was the thing.
sweet.
I know.
I know.
But I was very impressed with her as a character for coming clean in the way that she did. I think it would have been very easy for her to continue telling that lie to him specifically. Did you always know that her secret would sort of be a one-season deal?
I think I knew that that we knew the writers were able to sort of craft the whole first season before we started shooting, which was awesome. So I knew that at the end of the first season, Josh was going to find out. I didn't know that we would be on Molly, and like I didn't know all that stuff, and I was like, what? What's Molly? But I didn't realize all that. But I did know that I think someone had to find out by the end of the first season, or it wouldn't have, like, you know, how long can really, I think that was, we knew, but I didn't know how he was going to react or what was going to happen.
There's also, you know, one of the great things, we talked about Bunheads a moment ago, that this shares is its relationships between women. With the exception of Diana, and this has actually changed over the first season, it's not a competitive relationship. There's no competition with Kelsey, played by Hilary Duff. There's no competition with Maggie, played by Debbie Mazur. I mean, and I love that. I mean, is that something, as a person, you feel driven to sort of not put out into the world the idea that women need to be competitive with one another?
Absolutely. You know, I think women, yes. I mean, I'm trying, I've lost my complete use of words. But that's one of the things I love about Younger, is that it is women rooting for each other, women who have each other's back. They're not throwing each other under the bus. They're not stepping on one another they're not setting someone on fire. They're really friend. It's all about friendship. And even the relationship with Diana, what I love about that relationship is that it starts off one way, but then it begins to grow. And there's a real, yes, it's complicated, and yes, there's stuff going on, but there is a real sort of understanding and a camaraderie that begins to build, and that's what I think is interesting. But also, like, women liking women and women supporting women, I think is really important to see on TV and in this way. And so I'm, yes, very excited to be, and that was the same with Bunheads too.
Absolutely. I mean, when Diana paid for Liza's daughter's tuition, I was like, this is such a good moment for Diana and her enormous necklaces. She wears huge necklaces.
She does,
They're
yes.
enormous.
Yeah, we call her Mr. T, yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. We always, she turns the corner and we want to know, what she's got going. So yeah, she's got massive jewelry.
I love that. I think a great, example of the female friendships and sort of what they've created is, I'm terrified for Kelsey to find out Liza's secret as well. I'm genuinely nervous for the state of that friendship because it's so fast and it's so genuine and there's a real affection there. I mean, what do you know about that?
I don't know anything.
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, do you understand sort of, is that the ultimate sign for you that it's worked?
Although someone was asking me, they said, who do you think will take it the best and who do you think will take it the worst? And I think Kelsey would take it the worst. Yeah. I really do. I really think that she would feel really betrayed by it in some way. Oddly, Josh handles it pretty well. I oddly think Diana would handle it okay.
I think she would get it.
I think she'd get it too, and might admire me for it.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. But I think Kelsey, there could be some damage there.
Yeah. I mean, the announcement of Younger getting picked up for a second season was fantastic. Even before I knew sort of where we left off, knowing there would be more of a story to be told, after the experience you had on Bunheads where you fell so deeply in love with it and then were strung along, as we talked about in today's panel, what was your reaction when you found out you guys would be back and get to tell more Younger stories?
I was super excited. Bunheads was like my freshman year, of college, and I felt it was perfect in so many ways. And I tend to naively look at life in a very sort of wide open, everything's going to work out way. And I never I always expect the best, which I think has served me well, but also can leave me, disappointed at times. So I really did expect, for some reason, I was like, Bunheads will be here forever. And so I was devastated when it was canceled. Going into Younger, I feel like this is my sophomore year. I went in with a little bit more reservations and sort of preparedness that anything could happen. I was grateful that the network has been so behind the show, and we knew we were putting together something that we felt was of good quality. We felt that way with Bunheads too, but it was nice to have a network who really believed in us and is giving us the opportunity to grow and really find a bigger audience.
I'm curious, your engagement with social media for younger is obviously stronger than it was for Bunheads, because I think in 4 years
It's changed completely, yeah, it's grown so much.
What has sort of been your experience delving into that world of live tweeting and doing Q&As? I mean, does it in any way sort of resemble Liza's journey in trying to figure out what a hashtag is in the pilot?
You know, but it's such a, I grew up where I had where I used payphones, and I didn't have a cell phone, and I didn't have an email, and I didn't get email till college, and it's like now this is just part of it's just what it is. So I'm figuring it out. I always forget something when I'm doing a live tweet. I always forget something. Like there's I don't know what the period does. You're supposed to put a period at the beginning. Yes. I don't know what that does, but I always forget the period. I always forget something, but it's fun. I mean, the thing I like about Twitter and Instagram, and it's like a way to connect with fans in a way that feels it feels safe. Unlike right now, which feels scary, but it feels like a safe way to sort of connect with people and be able to say, hey, we're all just sort of in this together. Kinda.
If there was no truer sign of how much of a wide-eyed optimist you are, it's that you just called Twitter safe. But that is lovely.
Know.
Don't lose it. No,
okay.
I love it. I love it so much. Keep it. Well, on that note, I'm going to open it up to audience questions. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, and we will go from there, and I'll start with you. Right there.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a big fan of your work. My question is, what's been your favorite episode to film so far, and why?
Favorite episode so far of this one? No. I would probably say the last two were pretty awesome, but probably episode 8, which was called Skate. And it was, there was a great scene at the end with my character and Charles, the boss. I know, right? Peter Herman. And so we had this really cool scene where he came home after the Penn Awards, and I had been babysitting for his kids, and it's probably one of my favorite scenes that I got to shoot, because it was there's definitely chemistry there between Liza and Charles. But then right after she leaves Charles, she goes down to meet Josh, and Josh has a skateboard, and then she's skateboarding down the street. And it was just this great sort of back-to-back of her options and what her life could be. And it was really fun. And I just adore Peter, and I adore Nico so much. So that was just a really fun episode.
Do you do all your own skateboard stunts?
Does it look like I do all my own? I will say this. I did. I tried to learn how to, first of all, I don't like things on my feet, strapped to my feet, or anything with wheels, or anything that makes me go downhill where I can't stop and use my hands or the threat of falling. So I don't like rollerblading or skating or skiing. And so they're like, you need to skateboard. And I was like, great. But I was getting married in 4 weeks, and they've strapped wrist guards on me and a helmet, and I'm in the back lot of the stages trying to learn how to skateboard. First of all, I've never been on a skateboard in my life. 40 years old. This is not what you do. And I was I tried, and I learned how to push, glide, and I was I'm gonna die. And then it was awful, and I hated it. And then they didn't make me do it. They strapped me to something that made me look like I was doing it.
The magic of
Because I was
Hollywood.
I don't want to fall and then have broken head and wrists and hips for my wedding. Because I thought that might be weird, but it would be a good story, but not worth it.
Right. Wise choices.
Wise choices.
Wise choices. Right here?
I'm Sutton. I'm Shelby. Between Millie, Drowsy, Violet, Bunhead, how do you fit it all in? What's your normal day look like? Is there no normal anymore?
Do what?
Is there no normal day anymore?
No, I mean, right now I'm kind of on hiatus, so I feel pretty normal in a weird way. I feel very incredibly lucky of the opportunities I've had, especially with so much theater, and then having 2 amazing TV projects to work on. I feel so lucky, and most of all, I feel really, really lucky that I've got to work with the people that I've gotten to work with. It's incredible, but it is. I mean, life is busy, but it's high class problems. The minute I get, I'm like, I'm bored. It's like, shoot me in the face. I feel very lucky that that I get to do what I do. And right now I'm just enjoying being in Austin.
That's
so
right.
I'm like
That's right.
focusing on the moment.
Beautiful. Love it. Hi.
Oh yes, of course. Hi. That's so cool. I'm so scary. Well, happy birthday. I really didn't know anything. Luckily, my first foray was Bunheads, and I had Amy who totally took care of me. I think the biggest surprise, maybe two things. The two biggest surprises were the pace of the day. When you do theater, you are sort of on for 3 hours. You're like, yes, and it's 3 hours of onness. And in TV, it's a lot of on and off, on and off, on and off. And so when I was first doing it, I was sort of trying to be on all day, and then I'd get to the end of the day and I was like, I don't know, this isn't gonna work. So towards the end, I was learning how to sort of be able to be on for when the camera's rolling, and then be able to chill and relax and sort of feel out the pace of the day. The other big surprise for me, oddly, is just the newness of every day of doing TV. Every day is a new challenge, every day is a new scene, every day is a new opportunity of something. But then with theater, you have the safety of being able to to do the same thing every day and mine it and really dig deep and But with TV, you kind of have to leap and you can't get in your way. You have to just, because the train's going and you can't. And that was what was great about doing something like Bunheads, where we were shooting so many pages in so few days, and you just had to, I just had to go. There was no time to kind of go, oh, I'm scared, or I don't know it, or I had to be prepared. And I think that I was oh, wow, okay, I wasn't ready for that.
Yes, right there.
Oh, I know. I don't think the show's ever going to be an hour. I know. It is short. It's 22 minutes. I know. I selfishly like that it's a half hour, because it's just, seems more manageable. But Brooklyn was awesome. I'd never really spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, so it was all very new to me. A lot of really cool places. A van picks me up in the morning and then takes me places. So I really don't really know where I was, but saw some really cool places. And it was just cold, because we shot from September to December. So they were try not to look cold. So I was okay. And they're strapping heat packs all over my body. But it was great. We'll be back.
Yes, right here.
It was the bebop and hippity hoppity Macarena jump class. There was this crazy ass thing they made me do on Bunheads, where I had to say, oh, I gotta go do my, I can't do it because my brain has died. It's been deleted. But I had to list all of these dance styles back to back to back, and it was a 20-second thing of all these things all these classes I had to teach at one time, and it was on Bunheads, and I was oh crap, how am I gonna memorize this? And I would drive around Los Angeles saying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again so that I could nail it. But that's probably one of my favorites. I can't even remember it.
Yes, right there. We can come to you now. Yeah, either way.
Well, my question was what it's like working with Hilary Duff, and were you really excited when you found out she was going to be your co-star?
Totally. She's awesome. I was excited just because I was oh, that's, she's major, you know. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, Lizzie McGuire was after my time. Like I wasn't in the pocket for that, so I kind of missed that opportunity. But so I've never really seen I've never seen that. So I just know her from the show. She's super awesome. She's like the most well-adjusted celebrity person I've ever met. Like she's like a normal. She tries really hard to be normal, but she actually is normal. Does that make sense? Like she's not like she's like totally cool. She would, you know, get harassed and attacked by, you know, paparazzi. You know, it was like she was like a piece of bacon. We'd shove her out and while we were shooting, but she'd handle everything in stride, and she's an awesome mom and really, really cool. We had everybody, the whole cast was awesome. We had a really great time.
And then the person who was just right behind her? Yeah, well, she scooped me.
No, I think it's interesting because obviously your storyline is so interesting, but for us, we watched Lizzie McGuire, you know, we saw her get her first bra.
Right.
And so it's interesting to see her in, you know, this adult work.
But I think it's good for her too, you know? Like she's trying to navigate her career too. So I think it's fun to see her be, she can't be Lizzie McGuire forever. So I think it's fun to see her be a little naughty and a little dirty. And, you know, she's like, I think it's an awesome career move for her. And it's been fun to watch her navigate it.
I'm now confused as to what that show was about, though. Yes, right here.
What?
Now I don't know what Lizzie McGuire was about. It sounds very different from what I thought.
Oh.
Yes, right here.
I know, it's probably something from Gilmore. I know. It's hard for me to get off of that because I probably I would want to be in like some, you know, long-lost sibling or sister of someone related to the Gilmore clan.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? Anyone else? Questions? Good. Well, then let me sort of come back to this. When you look at where you left the show in season 1, where you left Liza and sort of that walk off with Josh, what excites you about just the potential for that character in a second season?
I think there's a lot of places that the show could go. You know, I think that's what was exciting when I read the pilot. I was like, oh man, there's like so many avenues that it could go. You know, I'm curious as to sort of see how she navigates that relationship with Josh, but also her daughter coming back. Like, I think that'll be interesting. Like, how will she deal with that? Like, obviously the daughter will be sort of in on it, I guess, but like, maybe or maybe not, or will she hide it from her, or will she like, I don't know. I'm interested about what will happen with Charles.
I mean, I don't want to make you pick because are you like team Josh or team
Well,
Charles?
no, see, that's what I think's so cool about the show is that they've given her two like completely viable love interests. It's not like one's an asshole or one's like, you know, a pain. It's like I think that they both have they're both very appealing. Yeah. So I'm curious.
I've also just realized in this moment that those two guys, it's Josh Charles, who's like the actor from The Good Wife. And I'm now
my
just
gosh,
realizing this
totally.
at this second.
Totally.
Do you know when you guys are going to go back to work? Will you be living in winter once again, trying to look warm?
Yeah. So we're shooting from in September to December again, and I think we'll be back on the air in January.
As somebody who lived in New York for a very long time, obviously doing theater, what is it like to get to film a television show on the streets and in Madison Square Park and make New York sort of, as cliche as it is, a character in the show?
It's awesome. You know, it's awesome, especially Brooklyn too. It's like I feel like we're really, it's like a love letter to Brooklyn, you know. And so it's been. I mean, it was interesting. There was a scene in Bryant Park that we shot early on where one of the characters, Lauren, had to get topless, and she was doing Topless Tuesday, and she had like little pasties on, and we're in Bryant Park, and she's like naked except for like little like heart-shaped things on her nipples, and we're like, what the hell are we doing? We're being really cool and like giving us like space as she's like naked. She's like, we're like, we got you. We're not gonna let anyone take any photos of you. We're gonna try not to. But you're like in New York and there's something very, I don't know. It's awesome. New York is an amazing city. You know, I've lived there for like 15, 16 years, and this is the first time I've ever really shot anything in the city. So it's definitely an experience, but cool.
I feel like I've learned a lot through the character, Lauren, about what the youths are doing now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I don't
know.
think, is Topless Tuesday actually a thing?
It is now.
But like,
I don't know.
But I also would love to have a drunken bar mitzvah at 26 years old. I feel like that was the best idea ever. I mean, when you get a script and you get to see things like that, are those the moments where you're like, my job is pretty cool?
Yeah. It was, you know, we would get what I thought was one of my favorite moments of the whole shoot was we were filming we block shots, we shot episodes sort of at the same simultaneously, and we got episodes 11 and 12, the last two episodes at the same time, and we were, the whole cast was like on a break, and we were all on our iPhones, like huddled, like reading the scripts, because we wanted to know what was gonna happen, and we would go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'd be like, Nico, and we'd like, oh, where are you? We were like trying to figure out like where we were, but we were so excited, because we wanted to know, we've like fallen in love with these characters, and kind of wanted to know what was gonna happen, and I'm curious to see where it'll all go.
As are we all, Sutton. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, everyone,
guys.
for your great questions and for coming out. Don't forget, the finale, which you've seen and cannot spoil, airs next week. Don't forget, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Thank you.